Wake Up with Jim and Sab is exclusively on Spotify.
If you want to start your own podcast, check out anchor.fm.
And if you want to be notified when we have new episodes, click the follow button on Spotify. If I slow down,
Hey, Pod Kids. So, this is another solo episode. FYI, why am I doing this? Well, if you're lazy and you don't want to go to another feed, then okay. At least nasi-share ko dito. I've been really enjoying. I'm really happy that maraming, and it's very surprising. People that I had no idea who were dealing with anxiety, have been messaging and reaching out, and basically that telling me that the Wake Up Less Anxious podcast has been helping them. So I'm very appreciative of yung messages nila. If you are also enjoying that separate podcast, yeah, please click follow, send me a message, share the story. But yun, I'm putting it here on the Wake Up feed then. Also, I want to say that Saab will be uploading her life coaching thing. And I'm going to take this time to explain what jimandsab.com is. I know marami sa inyo are part of it na, but for those who are new to the pod. Basically, jimandsab.com is something that we started during the pandemic where we said, okay, why don't we do like a VIP club, and with the sole purpose of creating funds to help children with special needs. So it's something very near and dear to our hearts, because we know how difficult it is to raise a child with special needs, and what more if you don't have the funds to do so. So we love all our podtrons, and we'd like to encourage our pod kids to join jimandsab.com. So anyway, that's why, baka magtataka lang kayo, ba't ang daming solo pods in the feed? That's pretty much the answer. So this is Less Anxious episode something. Yeah. So this episode I talk about dealing with tough and difficult emotions and comparing it to a stiff neck. So I thought about this while I was in the sauna. So yeah, I hope it helps. Here's the episode. Okay. Sup Anxnatics. This episode, I apologize if I ghosted you like in the past week, but anyway, here we are. What I usually do in each Less Anxious episode is I share my struggles, and then I share some tips on how to deal with those struggles. So, I was listening to on the Calm app. I was listening to this meditation by Jay Shetty. His voice is pretty loud. Not particularly my favorite kind of meditation guru, pero pwede na. And he talked about knots, comparing like difficult emotions with yung basically like stiff necks, anything na masakit sa katawan. And I just wanted to share a story. This was during the height of the pandemic, around the Delta period. Anyway, I had a knot. Nakakatawa. I'm so fixated on these knots and yung mga lamig. Remember pag nagpapamasahe ka, diba? Like, daming lamig. Ganun. Anyway, basically like tight stuff in your body. So, I had something near my ankle. Okay. And it felt uncomfortable at first. It was annoying. And therefore, what I decided to do was not for, I guess, a week straight, I was massaging deeply that knot near my ankle. Okay. At home, I would use a massage gun. During meetings, okay, I would be talking to someone. I would be massaging that knot. And I became obsessed with it. I that's all I did. As in, I used to be a nail biter. I used to vape. So basically, this was my new thing. So yun, tuloy-tuloy, I would just keep doing it, and I would actually have to hide it from Sab because she would call me out and say like, "Hey, binubugbog mo sarili mo." Um, so anyway, um, I realized after quitting vaping and after stopping, my bad habit of nail biting, na these are things or these are actions that I do or I take when I don't want to deal with difficult emotions. They become automatic because it's easier to deal with something on the surface than to actually ask yourself and go deeper and find out what's going on. So, actually, anyway, what happened was because I was beating up my ankle, okay, after a week or 10 days, it got so swollen. It got really bad. Like, I couldn't walk. I had to see a doctor. And ang dami, may mga tests pag ginawa and whatever. Daming binigay na medication. But I wasn't actually saying na I knew it was because it was self-inflicted. Again, hindi ko naman like, I wasn't like stabbing myself or whatever. It was just because of the frequency. Okay. It was like 60%, 70% of my day. I was looking for a knot that I could, I know. So anyway, it was only until my physical therapist, which, sorry, Pancho's physical therapist called called me out on it. He said, ginagawa mo yun pag anxious ka, no? And then, kaya ganyan yung ankle mo. Kahit anong therapy ang gawin mo, physical therapy, nakakatawa kasi it's sakto, yun mismo. Kahit anong physical therapy ang gawin mo, kahit anong physical, lagyan mo ng ice, whatever, but if hindi ka mag, quote-unquote, emotional therapy, you'll keep doing it.
Want more fun stuff outside our podcast? Come join our Podtron community.
You'll get access to exclusive content such as live coaching sessions, hangouts via Zoom, live podcast recordings, exclusive discounts, spontaneous live streams, and more.
Focus with me on our co-working sessions at Discord and let's be productive together.
Looking for career advice or fun recipes? Or do you just want to join in on our jamming sessions with Pancho and Vito?
Took you a while.
Talagang literally nag-jamming kami ni Pancho and Vito and we stream it live. Anyway, subscribe to jimandsab.com for just $5 and you'll get access to all of these.
We also have a monthly live coaching session, like we said, via Zoom where I talk to pod kids and give them advice. Yes, qualified life coach yarn.
And the best thing about this whole thing is 100% of our monthly proceeds go to our chosen beneficiaries in partnership with Cerebral Palsy Epilepsy Family Awareness and Support Group PH.
They are our heroes of the month, the children with special needs and their families. And this cause is especially close to our hearts because, well, you know why. So your subscription really means a lot to us.
We hope to see you on our next hangout. Nag-enjoy ka na, nakatulong ka pa.
Yay.
Love you, thank you.
Thank you.
Kahit anong physical therapy ang gawin mo, kahit anong physical, lagyan mo ng ice, whatever, but if hindi ka mag, quote-unquote, emotional therapy, you'll keep doing it, right? So again, there were difficult emotions that I didn't want to deal with, and I found a new escape, and that was it. So, I guess my point here is that we always, we're constantly getting quote unquote knots, okay? Constantly we have something that feels weird, feels annoying at first, something uncomfortable. And because it's something that's not within our realm of normalcy, right? What do we do? Okay. So for example, you wake up or you do an activity, let's say nag-frisbee ka or nag-basketball ka, and then the next day there's something annoying that's not part of your normal feeling or basically your body, right? Let's say it could be like a sore muscle or whatever. And what do we usually do? We just say like, oh man, I have a sore leg. Diba? Ako personally, like what I do is I say like, okay, it's gonna heal on its own. Okay. And I'm not gonna take medicine. I'm not gonna put ice. Wala lang. Kasi parang I'll just wait for it, and then I'll complain slightly, and then I'll look for a solution that is, the easiest one. Okay, which is for me the easiest one in my example of that ankle thing was, okay, I'm just gonna massage this and beat the shit out of my ankle. Yun. Because for some reason, I don't know why, ayokong lagyan ng ice, ayokong maggamot, ayokong whatever. So basically, I wanted to point out that there are two things that you can do whenever like you have these tough. Again, we're using the parallelism of a knot, right? Pero this knot is any difficult emotion, okay, that you don't even know that it's a difficult emotion. So there are two typical responses. One, you complain, you wait it out, and you complain. You you know just take in the pain and you complain, and you blame yourself, and you kind of generally you ignore. Okay, you ignore. And then the other route is investigating, investigating and dealing with it. Okay, so obviously yung complaining and ignoring, the biggest problem with that is whenever like you have stiff neck or muscle soreness or even any kind of physical ailment, your body is trying to tell you something, right? It's a signal that says na, hey, I need attention, I need care, I need healing, I need to rest. But what do? We ignore those signals, and therefore it gets worse. So what I want to focus on is the second route, which is investigating. But before you even investigate, I want to remind you na you have to start with self-compassion. Okay? Instead of berating yourself, for feeling that way, offer some kindness and understanding that you'd offer to, a friend. Always have that. Like, once you know na, oh shit, I woke up today kind of feeling shitty. I'm sad. Okay. So start off with self-compassion and imagine you are telling your friend or a close family member, someone you love, and giving them advice how to deal with, hey, you woke up this morning. It's pretty shitty. That happens. Right? It's okay. You're not broken. And then you can start investigating. Because if you start with parang a stance of self-compassion and okay, I'm feeling shitty today. Sige, ano kaya? Natulog ba ako na maayos kagabi? Late kasi ako natulog eh. Okay. Because I slept late, I might feel a little groggy today. Maybe I could drink some coffee, drink some water, do this. So the key thing here is yung investigation nga is like it allows you to get to the potential solutions, and at least you're in a proactive state, as opposed to me na I found comfort in just beating up my ankle the same way before. Now let's say I have PTSD basically, and it took me how many years? 3 years to realize that, oh, okay, that's why I vape. That's why I would do this. There were certain actions that I found comfortable to escape and not deal with tough emotions. So yun. And to be completely honest with you, like until now I struggle with simple stuff like that. Let's say I get sleepy. I immediately think, oh my God, shit, I'm sleepy. I have work, I have kids, I have all of these things. I can't be sleepy. I have to be 100% all the time. And it's such a pain in the ass. Okay. But I'm working through it. And I hope that this tip will help. Now you start with self-compassion. Like, okay, shit, okay. Medyo weird yung feeling ko. Medyo magulo yung morning ko. Okay, you could write it down. You could, again, imagine you're talking to a friend. Write it down. Think about it. Feel it. And then you start investigating. Okay, Played PlayStation last night or whatever. I'm stressed about the meeting at 4 p.m., right? And then you could break down, why am I stressed about that? What are the worst possible outcomes of that meeting? Okay, one, two, three. Okay, ano yung likelihood na mangyari talaga tong one, two, three? So just by doing that, you flesh out that gunk and that garbage staying in your brain, right? And yung gunk na yun, that garbage takes a whole lot of of your RAM basically. Kasi bumabagal ng quote unquote lahat ng apps in your brain because you're so focused on shit. There's this problem, I don't want to deal with it, so therefore I'll just do this. Anyway, I hope this helped, and I think I'll do another one in the coming weeks. But I just want to remind you, you can join our newsletter by going to bit.ly/lessanxious. Anyway, thank you, and stay less anxious. We back.
On Meta,
We back.
join the new official group for Afterpod Kwentuhans at bit.ly/podkidsafterparty.
Also, we always love hearing what you guys think. So share your stories and tag us on Instagram at Wake Up with Jim and Saab, at Jim Bacaro, and at Saab Mangalona.